First chance of the game. It's special. What a goal. Everybody talked about. Victory after rest. The corner.
Arsenal lineups versus Club Brugge decided as 8 stars rested and 10-handed debut. Arsenal are bidding to make it 6 wins from 6 in Europe when they travel to Belgium to face Club Brugge on Wednesday evening. The Gunners can wrap up top 8 qualification with 2 games to spare with victory, though Mikel Arteta is expected to rest and rotate ahead of this weekend's Premier League fixture against Wolves. An added twist is that on Monday, Club Brugge sacked their head coach Nicky Hayen after the club lost 3 of their past for Jupiler Pro League matches. Changes, and more changes, please. That's what I would like from this game, and there is still plenty of quality to be able to beat a Club Brugge side in a bit of a spiral of difficulty who have just sacked their manager. Bukayo Saka, rested. Declan Rice, rested. Leandro Trossard, rested. Martin Zubimendi, rested. Jurrien Timber, rested. David Raya, rested. Martin Odegaard, rested. Big players given the chance to be in the best possible shape for the next Premier League game against Wolves, which might look easier on paper, but the defeat to Villa has added unnecessary pressure to the clash. It also gives the chance for some players to find some form. Victor Gyökeres is certainly one of those players who need to find the back of the net again and soon, while Ethan Nwaneri is in desperate need of minutes, and the forgotten Christian Norgard is desperately desiring some game time. The back 4 is the trickiest due to the injuries, but with Calafiori suspended for the weekend, it makes sense that he plays. It's also worth adding that Max Daumann, coming off the bench in this game, should be another sight to see in Belgium. Canton's Arsenal 11 versus Club Brugge: Kepa, White, Calafiori, Hincapi, Lewis Skelly, Norgard, Ez, Nwaneri, Madwek, Gyökeres, Martinelli. I would honestly be slightly surprised if Ben White was able to start 3 games in 8 days, given he's not played much football this season. But if he's ready to do that, it's a huge bonus. I would also like to see Molly Salmon given a go at centre-back. There's a chance William Saliba could return, but given the severity of the club's defensive injury and availability crisis, it would be a good time to try Salmon. If he was to feature, it would be Salmon's full debut despite featuring for the Gunners in their pre-season tour of the Far East. The defender was also on the bench on Saturday at Villa Park. Ricardo Calafiori was limping after the defeat at Aston Villa, but the Gunners need the Italian to play, because he will be rested against Wolves on Saturday due to suspension. Ethan Nwaneri deserves a rare start, while Victor Gyökeres will be handed the chance to lead the line after 3 cameos from the bench upon return from injury. It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan, with the Gunners flying high under Arteta, as they look to win silverware this season. The North Londoners are going strong in the Premier League and Champions League, and they are also in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. We will provide insight and reaction, and have fun along the way as Arsenal target the biggest trophies this season. On the cusp of qualification for the last 16 of the 2025-2026 Champions League, perfect Arsenal endeavour to punch their ticket to the next round in Wednesday's battle with Club Brugge at the Jan Bredel Stadium. The Gunners taught Bayern Munich a footballing lesson in a 3-1 home triumph on match day 5, whereas their hosts were taken down 3-0 by Sporting Lisbon and faced the prospect of early elimination after a managerial change. The Gunners may have lost their perfect defensive streak this season's tournament against the Bundesliga champions, but Lennart Karl's equaliser proved futile in a grand scheme of things, and Arsenal now stand alone at the summit of the 36-team rankings. 16 points was enough for a guaranteed last 16 tickets in the 2024-2025 season, and while there are many complicated permutations to work through, An anticipated win for Arsenal on Wednesday will surely see them bypass the first knockout stage for the second year running. Mikel Arteta's men have already assured themselves of a playoff place at the very worst and are now aiming for a 10th straight success in the Champions League phase, as well as a 10th consecutive match without defeat versus a Belgian club. Arsenal have never won their opening 6 games of a Champions League season in their history, though, and Arteta's men head to Brugge on the back of an excruciating 2-1 Premier League loss to Aston Villa, one which cut their lead at the top of the table to just 2 points above Manchester City. Coincidentally 2 points adrift of a precious playoff place in the Champions League rankings, hosts Club Brugge have experienced a dramatic fall from continental grace since opening their 2-0 to 5-2-0-2-6 tournament with an astonishing 4-1 battering of Monaco. Taking just 1 point from the last 12 on offer in the Champions League, albeit a very respectable point in a 3-3 thriller with Barcelona-Atalanta, Bayern and Sporting have proven superior to the Belgian outfit in their recent European scraps. A comprehensive 3-0 loss to the latter on match day 5 left Club Brugge in a miserable 26th place in the 36-team standings, and the hosts also have ground to make up in the Jupiler Pro League title race amid a dismal spell of domestic form. Since going down to Sporting, Blauw-Zwart have fallen to 1-0 and 3-2 defeats to Royal Antwerp and Sint-Truiden respectively, leaving them third in the Belgian top-flight standings and 5 points adrift of leaders Union. Such pitiful results triggered the sacking of manager Nicky Hayden barely 48 hours before the visit of Arsenal, which Ivan Liko, a former Croatia international, will oversee in his first game, head coach. It is not all doom and gloom for the home faithful. Their side are unbeaten in their last 5 Champions League phase matches at the Jan Bredel Stadium, but 14 losses from 18 games against English clubs paints a bleak picture for the Belgians. Arsenal's defence has been and continues to be decimated by injuries in December. Christian Mosquera, ankle, and Gabriel Magalhaes thigh are both out for a number of weeks. William Saliba knock remains a doubt, and Ricardo Calafiori was also seen limping towards the tunnel at Villa Park. A fully fit Calafiori would likely start on Wednesday, given that he is about to serve a Premier League suspension, but Miles Lewis-Skelly will surely make the first 11 in Brugge, even though Calafiori was seen in training on Tuesday. Ethan Nwaneri, Christian Norgard, Noni Madwek and Victor Gyökeres should also be considered for promotion from the bench on Wednesday, when Declan Rice and Mikel Merino must tread with caution. Both will miss the clash with Inter Milan if they are booked. However, Rice is a fresh doubt anyway after he was absent from Tuesday's training session, while Leandro Trossard is in the same boat. As for Club Brugge, Liko risks being without his 2 first-choice goalkeepers, as ex-Liverpool veteran Simon Mignolet overstretching and Nordin Joke's rib fracture both missed the weekend's loss to Sint-Truiden. Arsenal were not exactly bereft of invention against Aston Villa. The Gunners created 4 big chances, but often lacked the ruthlessness to finish them off, which should not be the case on Wednesday. Arteta's men are catching Club Brugge in a bad moment for the injury-hit Belgians, unless the new manager bounce comes into effect, but a rotated Arsenal side should still cruise to a last 16 clinching victory. We have submitted our Leicester squad for our upcoming UEFA Champions League phase matches. As per UEFA regulations, Leicester is made up of a maximum of 25 players, 2 of whom must be goalkeepers. As a minimum, 8 of those 25 places are reserved exclusively for locally trained players, and no club may have more than 4 association-trained players listed among those 8 places. Club-trained players who were on a club's books for 3 entire seasons, or 36 months between the ages of 15 and 21. Association of trained players who were on another club's books in the same association for 3 entire seasons, or 36 months between the ages of 15 and 21. If a club has fewer than 8 locally trained players in their squad, then the maximum number of players on Lister is reduced accordingly. Changes to Lister can only be made before the round of 16 in February 2026, when clubs can register a maximum of 3 new players, such as new signings or previously injured players, but the overall limit of 25 players and 8 locally trained players remains. Our players on List A: goalkeepers, David Raya, Kepa Arrizabalaga, Tommy Setford. Defenders, William Saliba, Christian Mosquera, Ben White, Piero Hincapié, Gabriel, Jurien Timber, Ricardo Calafiori. Midfielders, Martin Odegaard, Eberechies, Christian Norgard, Leandro Trossard, Noni Madueke, Mikel Merino, Kai Havertz, Martin Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Max Daumann. Forwards, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Victor Gyökeres. Thanks for watching.